Hi guys, hope you're doing good. This is Pratishtha, your IELTS trainer. And from this lesson moving forward, we are going to learn the basics of grammar. So this session is majorly about the nouns and pronouns. I am guessing you have a little bit of an idea about what a noun is. We have done that previously. So nouns are anything, an object, a person, a place. It can be your ideas, emotions, all of those are nouns, and you know by now how essential nouns are in creating any sentence and of course the communication. So with this being said, I am going to share my screen and we are going to be talking about the basic grammar, which is nouns and pronouns. That's a topic for today. So we will learn about what are nouns, what are pronouns, the various kinds of nouns. I know we have done a little bit of that before, but we'll take a look just to revise ourselves up again. And the different kinds of pronouns. So pronouns is something that is new for us. And please be aware that it has the word noun in it. So it definitely has something to do with nouns. And then we will try and use nouns and pronouns in a sentence. So with this being said, let's get started. First, we will understand what nouns are. Noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. Person can be brother, for example, or it can be a name, John. Place can be any place, for example, park, but it can also be any specific park, for example, Stanley Park. Thing can be anything like table, or it can be a table from IKEA, for example. So like, let me just write IKEA table. Or an idea. Idea can be or any emotion. So for example, let me think. Could be like knowledge, because knowledge is essential in your mind too, right? So knowledge, happiness, right? Sadness, anger, etc. Then you have types of nouns. We have done this before, so it would be a great revision. Common nouns, right? It refers to the general people. For example, teacher, brother, city, car. Right now, we are not talking about particular. They are extremely common, right? Common things that we see around us. So general things. Proper noun is talking about specifics, right? So if I say a person, it is Mr. Smith. If I say a place, it is Paris. If I talk about a thing, it could be probably a Toyota car, right? Or a Tesla car or any other cars, right? So it's just an example. So similarly, we have different nouns, could be common, could be proper. Now you know it. Then we have concrete nouns. Concrete nouns, if you remember, are also tangible nouns. Abstract nouns, on the other hand, is intangible. Intangible nouns, right? So concrete nouns, things that you can hear, see, smell, taste, or touch, right? Something that you can touch physically and is present in the physical world. Abstract noun, on the other hand, are ideas, qualities, or state of emotion, right? Though you cannot touch all of these things. Then there is also collective nouns, if you remember. Collective, from the word itself, is a collection, a group, bunch, team, herd, etc. Right? A group of something. So now you have some example. You have common noun example, a person. The teacher explained the lesson clearly. So we have this common noun being used here. Place. The city is known for its beautiful parks. We in fact have two common nouns here, the city and the park. Thing, she drives a red car. So we are talking about a car, right? Could be any car, not named, it's common. Then we have proper nouns. When we are talking about a specific person, Mr. Smith will be giving a presentation today, right? So Mr. Smith, a presentation is a common noun here in this sentence. Specific place, Paris is famous for its Eiffel Tower. Both are specific nouns, right? They are proper nouns. Specific thing, Toyota is launching a new model next year. So Toyota becomes our proper noun. A new model, we don't know which model. So if you want to like put it into any category, it would become your common noun, right? So these are two types of nouns. Then we have concrete, right? Um, so concrete nouns are usually concrete in nature, right? So if you know what concrete is, right? The cement, it is cemented, right? It is like proper, you can touch it. The things you can see, she picked a red apple from the tree. So red apple and tree. Things you can hear, the dog barked loudly at the stranger. So the dog, you can hear the dog, right? Things you can touch, he touched the soft fabric of the new couch. All these are common noun because you can touch it or hear it or see it. It's present in the physical world. It needs to be present in the physical world. Really excuse my handwriting because I'm trying to write a little bit faster here, but I hope you can understand. It's at least legible. So new word for you, by the way, legible, which can be read, illegible, which cannot be read. For example, my handwriting seems pretty legible, means you can read it. I hope it's not illegible. I hope you cannot not read it, right? So, okay, just a little tip. Then you have abstract nouns. Abstract nouns could be any idea, right? Freedom is a fundamental human right. It can be a quality. Her love for her family is evident in everything she does. It's a quality, right? It's her love. It's a quality about her that she is loving. Any state, happiness is the key to a fulfilled life. So happiness is a state. Then you have understanding pronouns. What are pronouns? Something which has noun in its name. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun to avoid repetition. So, for example, I am making a paragraph. I cannot go on repeating, for example, Mr. Smith again. I cannot say Mr. Smith is giving a presentation. Mr. Smith spoke really nicely. Mr. Smith was um, applauded. Mr. Smith then took a break and ate pizza. Mr. Smith then made a coffee. So I cannot go on repeating Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith again and again and again, right? It's pretty tedious. New word. Tedious means like boring due to repetition, right? So if I repeat something, it gets pretty boring and it's lengthy. So you would not want to do that. You would instead use pronouns. So, types of pronouns. You have personal pronouns, right? It refers to specific people or things. We all know this. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. I use I for myself. I will use you for, I think, a second person, right? So, if a second person is in front of me, so I is essentially a first person, right? So, first person, let me write this, is I. Second person is you. Could be singular you or plural you. If one person is looking at my video, I can say you again. But if there are 15 people looking at my video and listening to me, again, they are you. So we don't use any different pronoun for it, right? So for singular and for plural people, second person, because I'm the first one, because I'm me, and then I'll be the first person for myself. You are the second person for me. Then we have third person, right? Third person can be he or she and they. So he is singular, one he, she is singular, one she, and they is plural, they. They are third person for me. You and I can talk about he or she or they, right? So that would be third person that we are bringing into our conversation. With I, you can also write we because it's first person. When I am sitting in a group, I can say we all are talking about them. So we are first person according to ourselves, right? And we are talking about them, third person. So I is me singular when I'm talking about me, so it's singular. We, on the other hand, refers to plural people. So essentially, it's divided into these three persons. First person is I, we. Second person is you, both for singular plural. Third person is he, she, they. Then you have possessive pronouns. Possessive, understand the meaning of possessive. Possessive means possession of something. Possession means when you own something, right? This book is mine. I own this book. It's mine. Your pencil is lost, right? So it's yours, like belonging to you. So possessive is anything that relates to belongingness. When something belongs to you, you own something, ownership. Mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. Demonstrative. The meaning of demonstration is to show. When I want to show something, that book that you are holding, that this pencil that I'm holding right now, right? His or sorry, these what? These windows that are in front of me right now, right? So there are multiple windows. Those windows that are there in the other apartment. So those windows. So again, according to your sentence, you have demonstrative pronouns when you want to show something. If I want to show you something, I would say this. I would not say it or he. I would say this or that. So this and that is usually singular. These and those are rather plural. Then you have relative pronouns, right? It introduces a dependent clause. Again, this is a little bit of, I would say, a complex grammar because we are not really doing clauses right now. But dependent clause is used for complex sentence structures. So we can use who, whom, whose, which, that. You need to just remember it in your mind. I can give you a sentence for it. For example, I want to write the person whom you were talking about is here, right? So it seems a little bit of a different kind of a sentence, something that we have not really done, but it uses relative pronoun. So this is something that probably you won't have to use that much initially, but always try to make and create sentences from here. Again, practice is the key. So let us talk about personal pronouns here and some examples related to it. First person singular, you know you have to use I or we. I went to the store to buy some groceries. We went to the store to buy some groceries. Second person, singular or plural, both are same. You should try this new restaurant. It's amazing. So you can be a single person, you, or maybe you and your friends. You all should try. Third person singular. He loves playing soccer on the weekends. This is masculine. Third person singular, feminine, is she always reads a book before bed. I could have also used a noun here. For example, I could have said Tina. Here I could have said John, etc. Third person singular, neutral, when there is no gender associated with it, right? We also use it for animals and objects, non-living things, right? So objects refer to non-living. So it is raining heavily outside. Then you have first person plural. Again, I talked about we here. We are planning a trip to the mountains. And third person plural is they, right? They. So they enjoyed the concert last night. So first person second person, third person, I, we. Second person would be she, he, it. Third person is, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I think I made a mistake. It is they, and they is for plural, and then she and he and it will come here. And second person is you. I'm so sorry about that. Right? But all in all, this is like a small table that you can make in your notebook. Just it's easier to remember. Then you have possessive pronouns, right? Possessive again shows ownership when you own something. First person singular, this book is mine. This is demonstrative, by the way, right? Because I am showing this to you. This book is mine. Here, mine is our possessive pronoun. Second person singular, is this pen yours? Third person singular, the jacket is his. Third person singular, female, the decision was hers to make. First person plural, the house on the hill is ours. Third person plural, the final say in this matter is theirs. I know it can be a little bit complicated, but making the table is essential, right? It would make your life easier. So again, first person, second person, third person. So mine, ours, right? This is first person. Second person in possessive pronoun would be yours. Third person would be his, hers, and theirs. That's all. Pretty easy. Essentially, we just learned this. So remember this table and you are good to go. Then we have some demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative means to show. Singular, this. So if and here near means when the object is near to you. So for example, right now, this cup is near to me. It was right here. So I would say this cup that is on my table, right? So this cup. Now, if I want to say something that is far, I would say probably a cup is kept there in the other room and I can see it. I would say that cup that is in the other room, just distance. This and that is just a matter of distance. So this is for things that are near, that is for things that are far. This is singular. Then we have plurals. Similarly, for near plural things, these cups that are on my table, those cups that are on the other table, probably in the other room, right? So this and those. So let's see. This is the best cake I have ever tasted right now here in front of me. That is the museum we visited last year. So that museum last year, right? Far distance. These are the photos from our vacation. Probably I'm showing it right now. These are the photos from our vacation. Those were the shoes I was talking about. So those one, right? I was talking about it long time back with this. Then you have relative pronouns. Relative pronouns who, whom, whose, which, and that. The teacher who helped me with my project is very kind. The person whom you met yesterday is my cousin. The car whose light are on is blocking the driveway. The movie which we watched last night was thrilling. This is the book that I was telling you about. Now, see, these pronouns are going to talk about our subject. Who is talking about the subject? Teacher. Whom is talking about our subject? Person. Whose is talking about the object or the subject and the noun car. Which is talking about this movie. That is talking about the book. Here, if you can notice, it is demonstrative. Right? So the teacher who helped me with my project is very kind. The person whom you met yesterday is my cousin. The car whose light are on is blocking the way. So this part is essentially giving some extra information if you can look at it. I could have said the teacher is very kind, but I wanted to tell and be specific about a particular kind of a teacher, the teacher who helped me with my project. The person is my cousin, but the person who you met yesterday. The car is blocking the driveway, the car whose light is on. The movie was thrilling, the movie which we watched last night. The book that I was telling you about. So again, it's a completely different kind of sentence structure, right? So don't worry about it, but it is talking about the book that I was telling you about. So now we have some examples of nouns and pronouns in a sentence. The cat is sleeping is a noun, right? The cat, it can replace the cat. So it is sleeping. The cat is sleeping. It is sleeping in the garden. You can just replace. You don't have to write the cat again. So now you can say Sarah loves her dog. She always brings treat for him or it. The students are reading. They are not making noise, right? So you can build on and create paragraphs related to it. Now what you can do it, you can try and practice. There are a lot of worksheets available online, and there are a lot of worksheets available on the app as well. So you can go ahead, try and identify nouns and pronouns, try and replace nouns with pronouns, and that would be a great activity. But I would highly suggest you to make those tables of what is first person, second person, third person, and try to remember what are the different kinds of pronouns. Because while you know about nouns, you will have to use a lot of pronouns, right? You cannot create or even speak by using just nouns. It's good for basics, but eventually you will have to start using pronouns. So, work in groups to identify nouns and pronouns in the following sentences. John went to the store and he bought some bread, right? So, John, we're talking about him. We replaced John. He is John only, but we replaced it as a pronoun. The flowers are beautiful and they smell wonderful. The flowers is our noun. And then we did not write and the flowers smell beautiful, because the flowers are beautiful and the flowers smell beautiful. It's not really smooth, right? And it's very complicated, a lot of words to read. So I would rather replace it with the pronoun here. Then you have sentence construction. You can just create your own n number of sentences and be good with it. And I would suggest again, you need to focus on your pronunciation. You should be very clear when you are talking and should be able to identify which pronouns are supposed to be used here. Because if you use incorrect pronouns, the whole meaning will change, right? You cannot use she for he for she. You cannot use we for they for we. So you cannot mix it up. I would highly suggest you create those table, probably stick it in front of you or your work desk or wherever you are sitting, or your study desk, and try to focus, try to make sentence, create sentence, and try to practice it. Create the toughest sentence for yourselves, give yourselves a challenge, and then practice it more. And I would suggest that is pretty much it. You do have a homework. Recap of what we did today. We did a definition. We did definitions and the types of nouns and pronouns. So under nouns, we did common noun, proper noun, abstract noun, or tangible or intangible nouns. And then we did collective nouns, all those things. Under pronouns, we did personal pronouns. We did possessive pronouns. We did demonstrative pronouns, and we did relative pronouns. Personal pronouns, I, you, he, she, etc. And we also looked at first person, second person, third person, and their singulars and plurals. Then you have possessive, yours, mine, his, hers. Demonstrative is when you are showing something to someone, this, those, these, that, etc. Relative pronouns are when you are trying to relate a person with the information you're talking about them. So who I was talking about, which I was talking about, that not that. So who, which, whom I was talking about, etc. So you have a homework today, which is to write sentences using different types of nouns and pronouns. I would really suggest to go beyond 10 and make sentence with each and every kind of pronouns, all personal, all possessive, all demonstrative, all relative. Practice reading your sentences aloud to improve pronunciation. And also, you know what I can do is, I can suggest you is that take a storybook or take a newspaper, try to circle all the different kinds of nouns and pronouns there. This is a great activity and you will learn a lot about it. So that is pretty much it for today's lesson. And I hope to see you in the next class with some more grammar tips, with some more vocabulary tips on the way. And hope to see you guys soon. Yep, bye bye.